Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. This is your host of Aim to Purpose Spiritual Empowerment Hour, Louise Hicks. And please subscribe, leave your comments, give it a thumbs up, and share. Please share. And I'm in this episode, I am going to talk a little bit about a discussion I saw on Reddit. And let me tell you what that's about because I thought it was pretty interesting. And I thought I wanted to share it and just make a few comments about it. And it's about our kids and our iPads and cell phones raising our children. Is it victory or the agony of defeat? So we're going to talk about this, but let me read to you what I saw on Reddit that inspired me to speak about this. And it's a discussion. It says, I'm seeing a startling rise in reports from teachers who say kids coming through now whose literacy skills are way below their age and are so screen addicted they throw tantrums when a screen is not in front of their eyes. I full heartedly believe that this is caused by new parents just sticking a screen in front of their children to replace actually interacting with them. I see it everywhere. I can't go to the store without a child on an iPad playing child YouTube videos at full volume. Don't let this be your child. Please consider seriously limiting child screen time and don't cave in to giving your child a device at such a young age. I believe Gen Z parenting should be better than what a lot of millennial parents have reported to. So I thought this was very interesting. And the reason being is I feel it is true, actually. However, I believe we can put some balance to that because I know that's what I see a lot too. And some of these parents now are just allowing YouTube and various other social medias, TikTok, Instagram, to raise their children because they aren't spending the time, quality time with their children. And this could be detrimental to your children when you are allowing this to happen. There has to be some balance because look at all the children, how the juvenile rate has gone up. And these are teachers now that are helping your children. So we need to put this in the proper perspective and help our children to be adults that's not going to end up in prison or in some type of juvenile, and God forbid, even dead, because there's a lot of toxic, very toxic information on social media that's not healthy at all for our children. And we as Black people need healing more than anything else. And let's think about this and what we're doing to our children. And if the teachers are alerting you to this, parents, you need to pay attention because we know some time ago a young 22-year-old did a video as a ballet teacher, and she was running into problems with 4 and 5-year-olds wanting to listen to Pound Town. I believe that's the name of it by Sexy Red, which is a disaster. No child at that age should be listening to Sexy Red. Even as an adult, I wouldn't even listen to Sexy Red because it's filth. And we as a Black community, we need to be about elevation. And that's why I started doing a podcast because I'm about elevating our people to a higher level of consciousness. And we need to stop a lot of this food talk out here that we are really doing a disservice to our young generation, the younger generation that's coming up. And now we're talking about Gen Xers and millennials and the ones coming after them that will be raising children. I believe some of them probably already are. I think it's Gen Z, if I'm not mistaken. So we have to be mindful of what example we're setting for our children. And to put your child in front of an iPad or a cell phone because you don't want to spend that quality time with your child, helping to teach that child about life, because it's getting tough out here and we're living in a very chaotic world and we're living in very tough times where it's very important that we spend quality time with our children, particularly as Black children, because we have enough problems and we need to spend time because a lot of us are so busy with our iPads and cell phones until we don't have time to raise our children. Even read your child a bedtime story, something positive. Start teaching your children about investing and becoming an entrepreneur. And that goes for grandparents too, who are raising their children, because we know out here now there are a lot of grandparents and even great grandparents, perhaps even great great, that are raising these children. And we need to be mindful of this because a child that has a computer, an iPad, and cell phone, and they're on it, and you don't even know what they are watching or listening to, that's how a lot of young people get lured by these sex traffickers. So you really need to pay attention to your children. And I can attest to it because I am 73 and I raise my children, particularly single parents. I need to be speaking more to you, Black single parents, because I started this podcast as an elevational podcast to help to elevate our people to a higher level of consciousness because of all the inappropriate behaviors that we see in the Black community. And we have enough of our young people in the juvenile system and our men incarcerated. And all of this stuff is by design to break down the family structure. And unless we start paying more attention, teaching our children our history, we are doomed. We will be a doomed culture, and we can't allow that to happen. And it's not going to happen because we do have some highly intelligent Black people who are on social media, YouTube, and they are teaching their children and training their children. They're teaching them our history so that they will understand the root cause of these inappropriate behaviors. So we better become conscientious about this, and particularly you millennials and you Gen Xers, because the Gen Xers, you're raising some of these kids that are, I believe, like I said, Gen Zs. And if you're not mindful, you're going to end up with a child that's going to go from the school to the prison pipeline. And we have enough of that going on. And it's all by design. So we have to stop the food talk, stop the nonsense, stop allowing your children to listen to this filthy rap music that has no benefit whatsoever to our community. And we know the people that are financing this, they don't care. I can tell you that there was this gentleman on the Breakfast Club, think his name was Leo Cohen. He said that he had a family to feed and he could care less about what these rappers they're paying to put out this filthy music about drug abuse, killing one another, calling Black women bitches and hoes. And that's something that needs to stop. And I'm going to do a video on something I heard just the other day about how uh, this one, I believe he's a doctor who has some type of course going on where he's teaching. And I'm going to be talking about that because we have too many of our Gen Zs, Gen Xers, and the millennials. Too many of us are out here talking food talk. That's what my grandmother would call it, is food talk. And you're not doing anything to elevate our Black community. And you have a lot of people that are following you, just like they're following the entertainers, the rappers. And I never advise my children to look up to any of those people because their mindset is not within the realm of where it's an elevation for our Black community. And we need to be mindful of that. And if you are allowing iPads and cell phones to parent your child, you need to wake up because what you're doing is getting your child ready for the school to the prison pipeline. Because if you don't know what they are listening to, what they're watching, you could be putting them in the hands of a sex trafficker. So pay attention. Now, there's a positive side as well to iPads and iPhones. I mean, cell phones, well, iPhones too, because they are cell phones. And that the positive side is if you are working with your child on something that's going to elevate and benefit them for legacy and generational wealth, that's the positive side of it. But you should be sitting with that child, explaining to them, showing them some of the historical videos of the why, the root cause, what slavery led to, the Jim Crow era, the civil rights that Black people are still fighting for, reparations that are deserving because of our foreparents. And I know some of you out there say, oh, well, you've never been a slave. No, I haven't never been a slave, but I have been a slave. And I'll tell you how I can say that goes both ways. Because when you go to a job every day and you are in a hostile, racially motivated environment, that's enslavement if you allow it. I have experienced it, but I did not accept it, nor did I allow it because I would speak up and speak out about it. And that's what we need to do. But first of all, you have to read, you have to do your due diligence in order to be able to speak up and speak out. And you have to know how to write, how to articulate. And now school is about to be out now. And a lot of these kids, I know some of you parents are just going to really push that iPad and that cell phone and to occupy these children's mind when you could be teaching them about investing, the stock market, real estate, how to become an entrepreneur. You can read books, and grandparents, you can do the same because right now I'm getting ready to have a one-on-one masterclass boot camp with my granddaughter who will be 10 this year. And she and I are going to have sessions once a week. That doesn't mean they can't have fun because some of these kids think, well, I won't be able to have fun in the summertime. Yes, you will. However, preparation means a lot for your adult life because you're not going to stay a child forever. You're going to become an adult one day. And do you want to be out here homeless without a roof over your head, no money to feed yourself, begging other people? Now is the time to hone those skills of the young minds rather than allowing them to sit around all day on social media that is toxic because a lot of this stuff out here is a bunch of food talk and nonsense that your child shouldn't even be exposed to, no more than letting them know the negative side of it, because that's what it amounts to. So I'm encouraging you to spend some time with your children and stop allowing iPad and cell phone to parent your children when you should be parenting your children. That's vital because if you don't, I'm telling you, you may be going to prison to see them or you may have to bury them. God forbid, because we see it too much over and over and over. The school to the prison pipeline. And we can do something about it as parents, but it's all about what you take action to do. And I talk about these elements: vision, faith, hope, knowledge, and action. That's what you have to teach your children and utilize that iPad or that cell phone, to provide something positive for your child. Spend some time reading, like I said, with your children, a book that's positive, or investing, teaching them about commodities in the stock market. Because my granddaughter is homeschooled, and I've been teaching her about commodities, the stock market, and so forth. And she's 9, about to be 10. And I started this, years ago, when she was very, very young, just a toddler. I started talking to her. And so her parents do the same thing. But as a grandmother, I'm very close to my granddaughter. And I'm teaching her. Like I said, we're going to have a one-on-one masterclass boot camp where we're going to get these flashcards about finances and entrepreneurship. I've already ordered them for her and myself through Dr. Boyce Watkins School, because I believe those flashcards would be very beneficial. I haven't seen them yet. I'm hoping to get them soon. And I also have this book called Kidpreneur, and I'm going to be going through that in the summer with my granddaughter. And this is what parents should be doing, particularly us as Black parents, and particularly single Black parents. Invest in your children, because a lot of you are alone, and one day that child may have to take care of you. And if you're not teaching them so that they can have the common sense, the discernment to understand how to, who knows what could happen to you. So we need to invest in our children, I'm telling you, and we need to get therapy. And again, I'm Louise Hicks, and I'm the host of Aim to Purpose Spiritual Empowerment Hour, where I started this to elevate our people to a higher level of consciousness. And I know there are others out there doing the same. So it's so important that we share this information. So please share, and thank you to all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate you. Much love to you. So share this video, and also leave your comments. Give it a thumbs up, and let's work together, unify, so that we can build together, because it's so important that we do, in order to save ourselves, because nobody else is going to come and save you. We must unite and connect those dots, as Dr. George C. Frazier says. And I always like to mention Dr. Claude Anderson. Get those books and read to your children. Black Labor, White Wealth, Powernomics, Dirty Little Secrets. I mean, I have all of those are books by Dr. Claude Anderson, and I have all of his books. And I read Black Labor, White Wealth back in the 1990s, which was so powerful and helpful. It helped me to get more focus on my life, and to teach my children to be more focused so that they can teach their children, because we want to make sure as a family we have that legacy and that generational wealth to pass on to our children. And just because you are a single parent, that does not mean that you cannot elevate your family. I did it. I was a single parent raising my children, but I did my due diligence. So please do your due diligence and have that vision, hope, faith, knowledge, and action, because I believe in being aimed to my purpose with aspiration, inspiration, motivation, edification, and determination. And I always tell my granddaughter that, to put those 3 C's together: have commitment, have confidence. That means a lot, because we have to be committed to our children so that they can have that confidence and that courage. Those are the 3 C's that I impound and impress on my granddaughter all the time. She and I have some great conversations. So please, please, please take this summer, when your children are out of school, and help them to be able to navigate through this system, because all of this stuff is by design to keep us divided and to break down the family structure. And we will not allow that, because intelligent Black people are going to do the right thing to elevate and unite. And that's what we have to do. And another thing you can do that I did for my kids, just some tips here. When my kids were younger and school would be out, they would go to the library and I would take them, be right there with them, and help them to choose books that will help them to elevate themselves so that they can understand how to express themselves, how to articulate themselves, and how to go on job interviews. I mean, these things are important. It's vital for our survival. So take this summer and do something positive and help your children. If they're going to use this social media, use it in a positive way to help them hone their skills. So when they go back to school to the next level, they'll be smarter than the next kid that didn't do what you're doing to elevate your child and to train up your child in the way they should go spiritually. That's important. That's spirituality, because we want to elevate ourselves in every aspect, economically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, intellectually. We need all of that so that we can grow and thrive. So please, please share this video because this is important. These are our future leaders, and we need to make sure they are ready. And if we aren't ready, how are we going to get our children ready? We want them to be ready, so we have to be ready as adults. And believe me, I am speaking from experience. I'm 73. I've been through a lot, and I know what I'm talking about. So let's prepare our children to be leaders, because leadership starts in the home. That's what our parents always told us. Charity starts in the home. That's where your leadership starts. So let's empower our children by spending their summer. Let them have fun. Nothing wrong with that. But stop letting iPad and cell phones parent your child. And that's all I have to say about it. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm Louise Hicks. Please share, give it a thumbs up, like, leave your comments, and have a good summer with your children. Do something positive. Again, I can't stress that enough. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of my new subscribers. Keep it coming, because we are in elevation mode. I call my home Elevation Haven, because that's what this home is all about. Elevation of our people, Black people, to a higher level of consciousness. So take care. Please subscribe, share, 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 and leave your comments and your likes. Thumbs up. Until next time, much love, and always remember, your power lies within you. Let it loose. Until next time, take care and see you all soon. Bye-bye for now.